I want to turn now to Cleveland, where our Jeff Pegues is actually standing by. Jeff, before we talk about the convention, I want to talk to you about the Nice attacks. What are you hearing from the U.S. intelligence community?
Well, U.S. intelligence, U.S. law enforcement officials, Rena, are trying to get on top of this investigation in terms of figuring out whether this killer had direct ties to ISIS or al-Qaeda. Keep in mind, both terrorist organizations have called for these types of attacks in the past. Al-Qaeda did it in 2010. ISIS did it in 2014. So the question is, did he have direct ties to those terrorist organizations, or was he inspired in some way to carry out this deadly attack by one of those terrorist organizations, or both of those terrorist organizations for that matter? So U.S. intelligence and law enforcement are still trying to track that down, still trying to see if he had any connections to weapons smugglers, anything like that. And so we're still relatively early on in this investigation as U.S. law enforcement works with their European counterparts to figure out exactly who was behind that attack in Nice.
And Jeff, before you go, I'd like to ask you, you're at the convention, the Republican National Convention in Cleveland. That's why you're there on the ground. What's the sense on the ground? Are they concerned about security? I know they were going into it, but does this attack make it even worse, or are they saying it's not going to be as bad?
Well, this is obviously something, with the Nice attack happening in the last 24 hours, it's something that they'll be paying attention to, and obviously it's something that they will prepare for, but they believe they are ready for this type of thing, really any type of thing. But what we're hearing from law enforcement officials is that there is no specific or credible threat against the Republican National Convention, but they are going to be drilling law enforcement agencies all the way to the start of this RNC convention. And so they will be paying attention to this investigation, certainly. But right now, they feel pretty confident about the security apparatus that they have in place. In fact, if you look around Cleveland, all you see right now are barricades. They are all over the place. You have barricades, you have law enforcement officials. So there is a heavy police presence here in place for the RNC.
Okay, Jeff Pegues at the Republican National Convention in Cleveland. Thank you, Jeff.